The lion moved silently through the spiral streets, its great paws barely making a sound on the glowing stones. The child followed, clutching the silver thread tight, their heart pounding with both fear and wonder. The lion paused before a door carved from ancient wood, its surface etched with symbols that pulsed faintly in the dark. With a slow nod, it touched the door's spiral seal. The door sighed open, revealing a chamber filled with hanging threads, each one a strand of forgotten story, shimmering like starlight. The lion gestured toward a thread, glowing brighter than the rest. The child reached out, and visions flooded their mind. The weaver's loom in motion, the scattering of threads, the rise of the clockmakers, and the fracture of the world. The lion's silent presence became a steady rhythm, a heartbeat to which the child attuned. It showed them how to trace the threads, to listen not just with ears, but with the soul. They practiced weaving small dreams, shaping light and shadow, bending the spiral paths, calling forth echoes of the past, preparing for the clockmakers. But the lion's eyes darkened when the child glimpsed beyond the chamber. In the distance, shadows gathered, the cold, precise shapes of the clockmakers' sentinels. The city's winding paths trembled beneath their steps. The lion pressed close, a silent warning. The child tightened their grip on the silver thread, feeling the weight of the loom's legacy in their veins. The spiral path ahead was winding and dangerous, but with the lion beside them, and the thread in their hand, they were ready to face the unraveling world. The child sat cross-legged in the heart of the market of threads, the silver spool resting beside them, unspooling softly with each breath. The lion watched quietly, its presence a steady anchor in the swirling sea of light and shadow. With trembling fingers, the child plucked a single thread from the spool. It shimmered in their hand, alive with possibility. They closed their eyes and let the thread guide their thoughts, feeling it pulse with the weaver's ancient song. Slowly, they began to weave, not with loom or shuttle, but with breath and intention. Shapes formed in the air, spirals of light, whispers of forgotten songs, fragments of memories that fluttered like moths. The lion's gaze never wavered, offering quiet encouragement without need for speech. The child learned to listen, to the silence between heartbeats, to the spaces where meaning trembled, to the threads hidden beneath waking. Dreams grew sharper, more vivid. The child's breath shaped them, weaving hope and fear into patterns that danced on the edges of reality. But mastery was not without challenge. Dark threads, remnants of the clockmaker's will, crept at the edges of the child's weaving. They tangled and threatened to unravel the fragile patterns. The lion moved to shield them, but the child knew they must face the shadows themselves. With a steadying breath, the child reached deeper, drawing strength from the silver thread and the lion's steady heart. A spark flared in their hands, a small, bright star that pulsed with the promise of new beginnings. The spiral city shimmered, its spirals glowing brighter. The child smiled, knowing the dreaming was waking. The night had fallen heavy over the spiral city, its winding streets bathed in an uneasy silver light. The child moved cautiously, the silver thread coiled tightly in their hand, their breath steady but heart pounding like a drum. From the shadows emerged figures, tall and sharp-edged, their forms flickering like fractured glass. The clockmakers' sentinels. They wore masks of gears and glass, their eyes cold pulses of calculated light. Silent as falling snow, they advanced. The child stepped back, the thread glowing faintly. The lion growled low, a rumble of warning and resolve. The sentinels circled, their movements precise and relentless. With trembling fingers, the child wove a spiral of light, casting it like a net between the shadows. The light shimmered and pulsed, pushing the sentinels back with threads of ancient song. But the shadows were patient. They split and multiplied, seeping through cracks in the spiral, seeking the heart where order could be restored. The child's hands shook but did not falter. Drawing deep from the thread's warmth, they wove faster, a tapestry of dreams and memory, binding light to shadow, hope to fear. A burst of silver fire flared, and the sentinels recoiled, their forms fracturing and fading. Silence fell again, thick and trembling. The child stood alone in the winding street, breath ragged, thread glowing softly in their palm. The lion appeared beside them, eyes bright with pride and warning. The clockmakers will return, but so will you. The spiral paths ahead twisted and turned. But the child no longer walked them alone. They carried the dreaming in their hands.